straight from the realm of all things gaming. Everything Noob starts now.
It's number 110, the Everything Noob podcast. 110 episodes, holy balls. I'm Vortak. I make YouTube videos sometimes, and joining me this evening is Miss Jemmy.
The mouth breather.
The mouth breather.
Fire breather. No, I was kidding.
Having the flu. You're a mouth breather.
Oh, yeah. I haven't heard that term in a while. And
oh, my God. How do you forget that? I love it.
Mr. Dreadlow.
Was, yeah.
So
that's all I have to say.
That's it? Nobody knows how to introduce themselves around here.
Well, I at least try to make it funny.
All three of us are basically the
same person.
Yeah.
Are we?
Yeah.
Are we like Siamese triplets?
We're the Noob Trinity.
With tonight's topic, we'll find out, I suppose, because we're doing a little bit more controversial this time around. The theme of this show, as we pick a theme for every show, the theme of this one is violence in video games, based off a story we saw today on the Twitter sphere. And we're just going to talk a little bit about the controversial topic of violence in video games and what it means for you this holiday season if you're someone who wants a violent video game, or if you're a parent of kids who are begging you for a violent video game. Maybe our opinions can shed some light on the subject. As I grew up playing Grand Theft Auto, and I don't go around killing people, and that's just where I stand on it. But we'll get into that. Let's launch into the story here that kind of brought this topic to light today. There's a game, an indie game called Hatred, that tried to get on Steam Greenlight, and it got a lot of attention very quickly. And as a result of people going, ooh, this game is either terrible or awesome, Steam said, we don't support this project. It's not allowed on Greenlight. We're pulling it, meaning it's never going to be sold in the Steam store. So it's a game about basically killing everyone you see. That's it. That's the premise of the game. The graphics aren't half bad, and it's just brutally violent. It's just about a guy who's just pissed and he wants to go kill everybody. That's kind of what the trailer makes it out to be. So that is it. And so people are kind of in a tizzy about it. Supporters and people who aren't fans of it. Everyone's up in arms. Your thoughts?
Well, first of all, we got to realize that this has kind of been in the news for a few months now. Not this particular Steam thing, but I've been reading, and it's been floating around since October. People have been making videos about it and making jokes and stuff like that, and other people have been talking or reviewing it. But it didn't grab the attention of many because of it's just kind of like, it was thrown out there and everybody kind of forgot about it. But now with Steamlight actually removing it from their Greenlight, now it's really sparking some interest, some non-interest, some hatred towards Steam, some hatred towards the developers, so it's going back and forth. But
Jemmy?
I kind of
I was
going to say, I kind of disagree with the I was going to say I kind of disagree with it being pulled from the Greenlight, and I guess we'll get into that later. But at the same time, I think that the developers are doing something that I think they're doing it for the sake of getting that attention.
They wanted the attention.
Yeah. So anyway, and go ahead.
I was just going to say, they didn't get any attention before, and as the old saying goes, bad press is good press. So now we have to protest it. I really don't have a problem with this game. I mean, it's kind of lame that the objective is just to kill people. I'm sure the allure of that will burn out within 20 minutes of gameplay. But I mean, I don't really think it should be banned.
Yeah, it's kind of a sensitive thing, and you're right. The people who make the game, they want the attention. They wanted to make a controversial game. They wanted to get people to turn their heads and go, "What is that?" And I think they've achieved that just because of Steam's reaction. I feel like if Steam just took a seat back and didn't do anything, this probably wouldn't be getting any press anywhere. It'd just be another game on Greenlight. And people, could talk in the comments all they want, but if Steam doesn't answer them, it's just angry commenters, as we see everywhere, right?
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
So, like with movies and stuff, you have the MPAA and stuff that takes care of the movie ratings. When it comes to like indie games, they don't get submitted for ratings and stuff like that. So is the reason Steam pulled it because this is clearly a very mature game and they couldn't get that slapped on there, so they couldn't have the age gate on the Steam store, and they'd have to offer that to people who are minors as well?
Maybe, but the only thing that keeps sticking out in my head is that if Steam is going to sell any Grand Theft Auto title, then this is like unfair. Or
even Postal 2.
But like Grand Theft Auto is marked as mature, and then there's that age gate that if your account is not associated with an adult's account, you cannot have it. Like, you can't go even to the store page. Yeah. So I'm saying, is this an indie title, and because they're not going to be going through the normal channels to get a rating, that they pulled it because this is very clearly a mature game? Like, it's not ambiguous.
Yeah, there's no question. There's definitely a line there. I don't think any indie games really get a rating.
From what I understand, the only thing that I saw at least was, especially on their website, the hatredgame.com website, is they posted the actual message that they get on their Steam, basically saying that because of them not going by the terms of service of Steam, like Steam Greenlight, they were banned from having their game on the Steam Light.
This game didn't follow the terms of service.
Light. Yeah, it didn't follow the terms of service.
What rule did they break?
It's yet to be determined, I guess. I don't know. You go on there.
Obviously, they're not gonna like say what rule they broke because they just want everybody to be like, "Oh, Steam pulled us. They're a bunch of a-holes."
Even though games like Manhunter Postal are still available on Steam, we of course fully respect Valve's decision, as they have the right to do so. In the same way, we want to assure you that this won't in any way impact the game's development, game's vision, or gameplay features we're aiming for. The game is to be released in Q2 of 2015 as planned. That is from the that's like a letter to the fans in response to Steam pulling it.
They're not hating on Steam at all.
Yeah,
that's the weird thing. They're very like, okay, well, that's fine. That's okay.
They don't have to hate on Steam. Like, their fans will just do it anyways. They're not explicitly stating the violent nature of their game is what made them break the rules. And Steam, as you said, from what you could tell, Steam hasn't said, oh, no, it was just too violent for us or anything like that. I have a feeling this game breaks another rule that's set in place, and, like, Steam doesn't care. They just broke the rules, so it's out. And they're, keeping what they did wrong under the rug.
The screenshot here shows that it's been banned because it broke something in the terms of service, but it doesn't say what. Sorry.
And here's the neat thing. Here's the weird thing about the whole thing, is within a few hours of being added to Greenlight, they got like 13,000 yes votes.
Oh,
it's like within a few hours. So.
I see that. 13,000.
So who wants that? Well, the community, don't they want that? And I would never probably participate in a game like this. In fact, I think it's really like, it's just too far out there. It's not something that I'd be. It's kind of like there's certain horror movies I just can't watch. I won't watch. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's kind of the same kind of thing. At the same time, when we do have freedom of speech, we have freedom of expression and stuff like that, I don't see a reason for it to be banned. But
it's your prerogative. You're saying, as a consumer, you don't want to buy it, but you don't see why other people can't buy it.
If they want to,
they can buy it, but Steam isn't going to support it, which means they're losing sales. Ultimately.
Yeah, basically. Potentially, they're going to lose 13,000 right there.
Well, they don't lose them. I mean, if people go to find it, that could be 13,000 people who definitely want it and go to their website after it's released. Or you're right, that's 13,000 Steam-exclusive users who don't like buying anything unless it's on Steam. Who knows? Probably a nice mixture in there. But, yeah, they even say themselves with games like Manhunt and Postal 2, we're not here, but that's okay with us. They know they have a good product, and this press is going to help them. But the problem with press like this, and especially these days, is people are going to forget about it before Q2 of 2015. So halfway through 2015, when this game comes out, they need another press boost like this. Otherwise, their sales are going to be, like any other indie game that comes out without Steam's help.
Yeah.
Okay, I pulled up the terms of service for Greenlight. So before you can post, you have to own the rights to the game and have the authorization to do that. You agree to the terms and conditions of the Steam subscriber agreement. Additionally, you may not post any item to Greenlight that contains the following: someone else's game or software, unless you have specific authorization to do so; porn, inappropriate or offensive content, wares or leaked content, cheating, hacking, or game exploits, threats of violence or harassment, even as a joke, games or software using copyrighted materials such as assets or intellectual property without permission from the owner, soliciting, begging, auctioning, selling, advertising, referrals, or racism or discrimination.
That's a lot of games on Steam already. Like,
I know. That's
violence.
Well,
unless it's like propaganda to promote something actually violent, like go out and kill your friends. Like
it's like a tutorial to do so. Like they're teaching you how to do it.
How to kill your friends. It's not.
Let's build a bomb.
Yeah, you're not buying the anarchist cookbook here. Whatever it's called, it's a game, and they have plenty of games like it. So yeah, I think Steam is reacting to this because maybe enough shocked people came to them. This isn't the first time Steam's pulled something for a reason that is kind of unorthodox. Remember not that long ago that developer who had a hair up his ass and started threatening to kill the CEO? And so they pulled it.
Yeah, it's just a Facebook message. Yeah,
it was on like Twitter or Facebook. And he didn't break any terms of service within Steam, but he threw a hissy fit, and so they pulled it. They're like, nope.
That was threats of violence or harassment, even as a joke. He's breaking that terms of service right there.
Yeah, but it was on Twitter. So is that
wasn't
different?
Actually within Steam. Yeah, see,
but it was towards Steam. So I think that and he's clearly associated with the game, and he posted it in a place that was clearly associated with the game and Steam. So yes, I think that's valid.
Yeah. Okay. Not the best example, but still, this isn't the first time they've pulled something from the store, and people.
But it wasn't even in the store; it was Greenlight.
Yeah. Same. Yeah. Greenlight, and this game would have made it for sure. It just
also the developers, I guess, in the very original trailer, which is still kind of floating out there because I saw one that was actually the original, which is the same trailer. It's just the certain things were, like the certain logos were removed. The Unreal 4 logo was in their trailer, and the Unreal people were upset about it and basically said that you're illegally using our logo.
Oh wow!
Yet they're using the actual Unreal engine, the Unreal 4 engine, to make their game. And I've seen other games that I've played where an Unreal logo pops up. I don't understand. So
maybe they didn't own a license.
Unreal themselves, I think, are literally stretching it. I think they're allowing it.
They know that they didn't have a license, and they had.
They have a license. Yeah, no,
they do have a license.
It's just that they're using their logo in the trailer, which doesn't make sense.
Oh, yeah, that's
you want to be able to say we're using the Unreal 4 engine, so you're like basically, showing that that's what it's made with.
That's bizarre, though.
Yeah, because I've seen other trailers with the Unreal logo, or even the NVIDIA logo, or any of those logos.
Well, just because other people do it doesn't mean that's right, and it's really bizarre to put the logo of the game engine you're using in the game trailer. Usually, it's the production studio's logo.
Or like when you actually start the game up, it obviously would come up.
Well, yeah, when you start the game, because
Yeah, you're right. Man, I don't know.
Part of the agreement.
I'm thinking I've seen it in other trailers. I'm not sure. I'd have to.
I bet you. No, I'm not denying that you have, but it's probably because this game got a lot of press for being really controversial, and then Unreal saw it, whereas other ones are pretty small and they fly under the radar.
Yeah, exactly.
I find it kind of weird that they'd care that much about the logo being there. But
it's branding. And I'm sure some lawyer had a hair up his ass, like, no, we can't be associated with that.
Yeah, that's probably really what it came down to. Just we don't need bad press. Get that out of there. So
Yeah, and I'm thinking, I mean, if you look at the game, it's basically you're playing a character that has a hatred towards everything that's living, and he goes out and wants to kill everybody and everything. And he walks into stores, gas stations, movie theaters, you know what I mean? He walks over and he's just doing all this stuff in all these different areas. And I can understand it, like, really, like, you know, just biting at the public, especially those that might have experienced this in their own life, you know, like, you know, some of the old shootings from way back, and might have a problem with it. But in Grand Theft Auto 5, you can do the same thing, although you do it, you're choosing to do it. In other words, it's not part of the game. It's not the game to go out and kill people. The game is to go out and do missions and things like that in the game. But in this game, that's what you do.
yeah, that's what you do. You're just supposed to kill people. It's like a zombie game where you're supposed to kill all the zombies, except people are not zombies. I mean,
Right.
You know, where do we draw the line there, really, to the point where people are okay with it? Like, I don't think people are okay with Grand Theft Auto. The same sensitive people who are upset about Grand Theft Auto are definitely upset about hatred. But it seems like this kind of hit a few more people who maybe are okay with Grand Theft Auto, but sensitive to other things. And that's really what it all comes down to, is sensitive, super sensitive, hypersensitive people went and complained, and now this is gone. And I don't think they were really breaking any terms of service for real until those complaints came up and someone said, "Look, they're being whatever, they're breaking your terms of service." And they're like, "Fine, we don't need this game. This is just pretty brutal." So they pulled it. And I want to see where it goes. I want to see if Steam sticks to their guns, or if no pun intended, or if they or if they finally let it come back, because people are like, "Well, you have these games, WTF?"
Yeah.
It might
True.
be because they can't get it to be forced under a mature rating unless the developers push it under that, and they may not have control over that. So they may just be like, no, this is clearly mature, and we're not comfortable selling that to everybody.
Yeah, all it could take is them putting at the beginning of the video, caution for super mature audiences only, whatever they want to put.
Super mature.
Yeah.
Better be 60 plus, bros.
Yeah, exactly. Rated 60 and up. But, you know, I'm kind of curious to...
Jerry. For geriatric.
Geriatric. I'm really curious to see where it goes. And I just thought that was kind of an interesting story to kick off the show with, because during the holiday season, there's one of the biggest releases we have is Grand Theft Auto 5, again, thanks to it coming out on PlayStation and Xbox One, PS4 and Xbox One. And a lot of people who probably were holding out for those versions are like, okay, Mom and Dad, I want this under the tree. And I remember I worked at Target for a while during the Christmas season one year, and it was, aside from it being like the worst place in the world to work, I had to work in electronics, and it wasn't so bad. Like, it was a few days before Christmas, and it was pretty hectic. I had a few different parents come up to me with a copy of something like Grand Theft Auto. I think it was mostly Grand Theft Auto, asking me, I don't think it was 5, because 5 wasn't out yet. I think it was 4. Just asking, like, is this okay for my kids to play? What do you think of this? And I would just tell them, as a gamer who grew up playing these games, you don't see me going around hurting people. Like, it's kind of comes down to you watching them play it and how you feel about it. And if you think it's too much, take it back. I'll warn you, they can jump in a car and pick up a hooker. I mean, you might have to have a couple talks with them before letting them play, but ultimately it is just a video game, and it doesn't mean your kids are going to grow up to be these horrible people because they play it. And I told that to a few different parents during my shift.
Well, there's also the parenting issue of sometimes it's hard just from the little description on the back, and they label everything on the back that the game has that got it the rating it has. So, like, sexual themes and blood, violence, all that stuff. But so, you know, sometimes that can be pretty vague. And as a parent, sometimes it's like, it's not that you're fearful your kid will grow up to be a bad person or ultra violent or aggressive, and sometimes it's just like knowing, is your kid ready to mentally cope with those themes?
Yeah.
Well, okay, you know that game.
And sometimes it's vague and you just don't know.
What was that game? Oh, I can't even think of it right now. Where it's a cartoonish kind of looking guy, and he goes to a college and
Leisure Suite Larry.
Leisure Suite Larry. Now you would not see that on Steam.
Leisure Suit.
Oh, it wasn't Sweet.
Leisure Suit. No, Sweet Suit. Oh,
Pretty.
I thought it was Sweet, like a hotel
suit.
suite or something. Like
It's a leisure
it's
suit.
It's a leisure
because he has
suit.
a suit on.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
You can
But, I
see
mean-
how I made that mistake. I mean, I'm not
Yeah, they just if you drop the E, it's a
suit.
It's a suit.
Yeah. Okay, same thing.
Oh,
You could pick
I mean,
up girls
I guess he
wearing
wants to go.
You put an
to
E
the
on
leisure
it, it's a
suite.
suite.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's not on Steam. And I want to, I'm not. Hopefully, anybody that's listening is not thinking that I'm totally mad at Steam for doing it. What I'm saying is that it's one of those halfway things. I really feel as though the game is it's like it's crazy violent. It's crazy. The whole premise of the game is just out there. But at the same time, it's not Leisure Seat. Now I've never seen Leisure Seat.
Oh no.
It's on Steam apparently.
Is it?
Yeah.
It is. Yes.
No,
I was pretty sure that was on Steam, but
Oh, there it is. Leisure Suite.
I was
or
like-
Leisure Suit Larry in the land of the
it was
lounge.
made by Sierra Entertainment. Yeah. I was pretty sure
Sierra-
it was, but
Sierra
we're gonna
Online,
call
yeah.
you out.
Sierra Online. Okay, so
Yeah.
okay, now that totally just okay.
Doesn't help the
Never
case
mind.
of hatred.
Yeah.
That doesn't help
Your
me at
point
all.
debunked.
I was just gonna say, they're not gonna allow that. They're like, okay, well, if they're allowing that, then they should allow this. Seriously, I mean, it's
But isn't
Just-
that more of a sexual theme than violence in Leisure Suit?
But
yeah,
it's,
but
it's
it's
hypersexual
almost-
versus hyper-violent.
Porn. It's basically a porn game almost. I mean, not as bad as I'm sure there's some porn games out there that are a lot worse than Leisure Suit Larry. But I guess my point was that they're not. They're trying to be careful of where's the threshold. Where do they stop? Allowing certain games. I mean, what does it take? And I think this is the top of the line for the violence end. And then you got the top of the line for the sexual end, and then you got the top. You know what I mean? They got to have a cap somewhere. Otherwise, just let it all in. I mean, there's probably hundreds of stuff out there we don't even know about as gamers.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
So, but they have to put a cap. They have to put a roof on it somewhere. I think this is
guess,
that.
but it's not. I don't know. I feel like a game like this, it's up to the consumer. Just like the recent story about Target and Kmart in Australia, like anyone shops at Kmart anyway, they pulled Grand Theft Auto games from the shelves for probably pretty obvious reasons. Parents.
Isn't that par for
fighting
the
them.
course for Australia, though?
I don't know. I'm not in Australia. So it doesn't affect me. But I saw the headline, and it's the same deal. It's like, why are you pulling this from the store? Because now, if I'm on my way to the store to buy Christmas gifts, I know not to go to Target because one of the gifts on my kid's list here is Grand Theft Auto 5s, and Grand Theft Auto 5, and you don't have it. Therefore, you've lost a whole bunch of my business. And it's kind of Steam doesn't have to suffer the same consequence, but my point is it should be up to the consumer. Like if I go to Target,
especially on Greenlight, yes.
Yeah. If I go to Walmart or Target, I'm not going to be offended because I see a Playboy section all of a sudden in the store.
Right.
I don't need to go in there and purchase something if it offends me, regardless of what it is.
Okay, but blatant porn gets into a different category here.
I know.
Because there is a lot of laws and licenses and stuff like that, and I don't think like a straight up porn game could be okayed on Steam, and I'm sure they don't want to deal with that. I agree with you though; it should be up to the consumer, but on a certain level, like where do you draw the line? Because like if a game is blatantly racist or blatantly sexist and just spewing a bunch of hate speech in its themes, and it's not just in a negative way, then it really shouldn't be available for public consumption.
Well, the key word in their terms of service is offensive. One of the key words in there was offensive, and this might be a little offensive to a few. So maybe that's
So is Grand
Well,
Theft Auto.
obviously.
I mean, Grand Theft Auto
Yeah.
has murder and racism and
Crime and everything else.
and
Yeah.
it covers the gambit. And it's
That's
there.
true.
There it is. Once it goes out for sale on PC, Grand Theft Auto 5 will be on Steam because it's a moneymaker. They don't want to lose that.
Oh, heck no. That will freaking sell. That's going to be a crazy sale right there.
And I think they make more money off indie games, honestly, because usually most of that money, like I remember when I went to a lot of like game stores, I got to be friends with the owners of this one game store where I used to live. And they said, we don't make anything off these new games. We get maybe $1, if that. All that money generally goes back to the publisher and whatever. We get all our money off the used games. And I think for Steam, instead of used games, it's indie games because they take a larger cut from the indie devs. They get to sit there and negotiate with them. Okay, we're going to take this much because we're giving you the opportunity to sell in our store. But a AAA title that sells for $59.99 on Steam and Walmart, that Steam isn't getting any more than Walmart's getting, I think.
I would say though that while they make more per unit off of an indie game, I'm going to guess Steam's profits mostly lie in gross in the AAA titles.
You think so?
Yes, absolutely.
I mean, I don't work for them. I'm not a marketer with that. Like, I don't know any better, but I assume that, whatever Walmart gets, that's what Steam gets because it goes for the same price.
Yeah,
I
but
mean,
they're selling a ton more units. So
I have a lot
the
of
profits larger.
I have a lot of games in my library that, I mean, really, if I was to play them, I wouldn't know if they're indie or not. To tell you the truth.
That's good point.
And there's some games in there that remind me of AAA titles, and I'm thinking to myself, right now, I'm thinking to myself, how many of my games are actually AAA titles? So it's hard to tell. I mean, because I think you're right, in the fact that that they get to negotiate a little bit easier with the indie devs. So they might make more off of their games, but what brings them to Steam, what brings everybody to Steam is those AAA titles. So once they get to Steam, they buy some AAA titles, then they get bombarded with all these indie games, and they buy them, and so they probably make quite a bit of money off that too.
They probably make more money if you take one indie title, one popular indie title versus one popular AAA title. I'm sure they sell more units of the AAA title. But when you take the entirety of the indie library versus the entirety of the AAA library, maybe we see a different number, set there because they probably do get a larger percentage off indie game devs than they do AAA devs. So if you just take the total of indie games versus the total of AAA, maybe they are making more money with indie, especially since it's so damn popular right now. Maybe.
I don't think so.
I'm sure someone could answer that for us. I don't think that information's hidden.
I don't feel like that's a sustainable model. And if that was the case, Greenlight wouldn't exist. They would just allow you to just upload like that.
I think that I think that information is probably locked up in a mountain in Utah. And
I bet you could email somebody without asking for numbers that if they make more off of AAA titles versus indie titles.
It's an interesting...
Like, what's their...
I'm curious about it. It's an interesting theme. I really don't know. I'm just assuming here. I'm gonna make that very clear. But either way, it's money lost by removing this game from their store. So someone in there had to have a good reason. Like someone had to have been pretty damn convincing to get that pulled from Greenlight.
But they're doing so well that they don't need this one controversial title.
No, but that never stopped anyone from trying to make more money just because they're doing well. I mean,
and while this indie game may have a short run of a burst of a lot of sales, it's not going to match the sale numbers for a AAA title ever.
Yeah,
it's not Minecraft. It never will be.
Minecraft still comparing things to Minecraft. That's true.
Well,
though.
I mean,
I'm waiting for all the hatred maps to start being developed for Minecraft.
I wouldn't even say it's DayZ.
Oh,
You know?
And it's it's not going to get to that popularity unless people like us keep talking about it, and they keep trying to get on different stores, or they keep somehow making news. Then maybe they'll see some sales, because people are like, screw you, Steam, I can't believe you would do that. There's a lot of people who love to take sides and probably want to boycott Steam now, and like, I'm not buying my indie games from you guys anymore. I'm going to buy straight from the dev on their website. Which devs prefer.
You should be doing that anyway.
Yeah. Devs prefer that because it gets them more money.
I'm going to Playfire. That's it. No, I was kidding. Playfire.
You mean Greenlight Gaming?
Yeah.
Really?
I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. I'm just saying. I'm just playing devil's advocate here.
No. Anyway, violence in video games, I feel like people get really uppity about it. Just like, well, not even like R-rated movies. Video games are different. I was going somewhere before, and then we went back to the stupid game, hatred game, and I lost it. I think the point I was wrapping up before was that it should be up to the consumer, and pulling it from Target and Kmart anywhere is just a poor move, because now that's less choice your consumer has.
It's less choice your consumer has, but if you have gauged your market dynamic and statistics that most of your target audience would not be interested in buying that game and would find it morally evil, abhorrent, whatever you want to say, then it's a great PR stunt to pull it, because they're not really losing that many sales.
Yeah.
And it's like, look how morally upstanding we are, because we don't stand behind these hyper-violent, hyper-sexual, hyper-hate speech kind of games.
Well, now there's going to be a new feature with Steam. They've got Greenlight. They've got their regular sales and stuff. Now they're going to have Steam Black Market.
Market.
And you'll be able to get your games there.
ESPN illegal.
Yes. The auction is back. I didn't even know it ever was. I thought this was the first time, but I guess there's been a Steam auction a couple times now, where you take all of your merchandise that you have, like trading cards,
sell
and stuff.
it for gems.
Yeah, sell it for gems. I'm not even sure what a trading card is worth in gems, and then you can bid on games. Not buy them, bid on them.
20 to 30 gems for a regular one, and for like a foil, it's 80 gems. But it's not enough gems for me to get anything, because you need at least a few thousand gems to get, something
and you're
halfway
bidding.
Decent.
Well,
yeah, and it's a bid, so...
Here's what it is. It's it's getting all those trading cards and stuff out of the market for Steam, while only rewarding the people who've been like hyper vigilant in your store and buying everything. Yeah. It's a way to get that stuff out of rotation. And I mean, it's genius, but like, I would rather just buy the game and keep my trading cards.
Yeah. Maybe
that I don't care about.
Was this the plan with trading cards all along? Did I totally miss that?
I don't know.
No, I don't think it was like the plan, because you can also trade in like your Team Fortress 2 hats and stuff like that.
Maybe their hard drives are getting full, and they need to empty out some of those trading cards out of their hard drives.
Well, I mean, you can sell those trading cards for real money to other players and complete sets, and then become higher in their ranking system, whatever the level thing is arbitrarily based off of. So by pulling those out of rotation, you lower the market and increase the price of said items, because there is a scarcity now, and that means they get a bigger cut when you actually get back to selling those for real money.
People in chat, Jackcraft specifically, is saying people dupe the cards, meaning, I guess, duplicate? Is that a
really?
thing?
Oh, I bet if Steam caught on to you doing that, they would probably ban you, or just ban you from being able to participate in that.
I know, yeah, it's true.
Yeah, I didn't know.
I didn't know that was possible.
I didn't know you could duplicate the cards. It seems like
it's it's on their servers. That's what's weird about it. I don't know how you can do that.
Yeah, if you're gonna use them for like the purpose of gaining real money or games, I feel like they should have caught on to that by now. I don't know about that one. I'll have to look.
Unless there's a way to, unless you can play a game for 5 minutes and somehow you can set a trigger in there to trigger it to make it think that you played for hours and then it drops a card.
Yeah, I don't know. I just got pissed when I saw that auction thing. I'm like, I saw one game going for like 200,000 gems. I'm like,
that's what I'm saying.
What are the cards worth?
I added up all mine, how much it would be in gems, and I barely reached 500. And I play a lot. I got a lot of games. I got a lot of cards. Yeah, and so there's.
You could maybe snag an indie game.
But
yeah.
Is it worth it? I mean,
I just go buy it.
They're just trying to get you to notice how like the suggestion was, don't worry, you can play or you can get more cards just by turning a game on. So it's like, oh, I'll just buy a bunch more games and then turn them all on and get a bunch of cards.
Yeah, but here's the thing. If the duping thing is true, that's the reason why it's so hard to get things with gems, because they found a way to have thousands and thousands of gems, so those bids are high. There's no way
apparently
to get in there.
The duping is done. They figured out how, but like there were millions generated in gems because of the duped cards and stuff. So good luck getting something, because the cheaters in the world just like inflated the price of everything ridiculously.
Yeah, there's no way. It's freaking 20,000 gems. How are you going to do that? It's impossible.
They should pull the people's gems who duped. Like, you get none.
I hope they would do that. But
I would too, but
this is what you get for inventing a currency.
Exactly.
I mean, it's one of those things where they
Reserve.
may have just patched it out, and then we're like, well, it can't happen anymore, so whatever, we'll wash our hands of it.
Did it say "In God We Trust" on this currency? No, I was kidding.
God. In Notch We Trust.
Oh man.
Yeah. So
anyway.
The upcoming shows we have planned here are mostly going to be holiday themed. We have, for next week, we're going to talk about a lot of Christmas, the Christmas sales that are going on, some of the games we're looking forward to getting, and then New Year's. We have some plans as well, so be sure to stay tuned for that. So this show is kind of like a leading into all the Christmas discussion.
Yeah, we just get the violence out of the way now.
Yeah.
The holiday violence?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All those...
It's not a holiday get-together until somebody gets in a fist fight.
Hell yeah.
Oh, man.
So it's exciting. This year, I don't know. I'm kind of I'm curious to see how the sales go. There's just been so many damn games that have been released that I'm going to be itching to get, and I can't get anything because everyone's going to be buying stuff for me for like birthday and Christmas, and I'm like, ugh. Okay.
That must be like so inconvenient for you, like, because I'm guessing you have to stop yourself somewhere between like mid-October and be like, nope, I need to stop buying things for myself because it's birthday and Christmas coming up.
Yeah, I do.
My birthday's in January, so
I can see the looks.
Oh, so you have the same problem.
Yeah.
Family and friends.
I had that growing up too.
Yeah, family and friends' faces. I can see the look on their face. If I'm like, oh, I'm thinking of buying this game, that look of like, I was gonna get you that.
How about I buy you Five Nights at Freddy's? I'm too scared to play that game.
I wasn't too interested in that anyway.
Oh my god, I've spent all weekend watching Let's Plays of that, and every time the jump scares get me, it's so bad. I didn't sleep the one night because the animatronics were going to get me.
Games like that should be outlawed over these violent games, because games like that can actually hurt you. They could give you a heart attack, and they're still on the store. Oh my god,
my chest hurts so bad. But Rooster Teeth and Gavin playing that was priceless. He hid it in the corner. It was so great.
It's just violent video games versus anything else in the Steam store, and it makes me upset. I'm all over the place because I keep having thoughts and they keep escaping me. You guys, please help.
You guys have thoughts?
Yes. As soon as you said something, I remembered. Oh yeah, oh no, it's gone.
Well, no. Do you know when the Steam Winter Sale is supposed to start, or is that just not a thing anymore?
Oh, I don't know.
Because I've been waiting for that to start so I could do a little bit of Christmas shopping on the cheap. And
When did it start last year?
Like around this time.
Really? I thought it was like closer to Christmas.
I think it was like a couple of days, but I think by right before your birthday it had started.
I hope this auction thing isn't the replacement for the the holiday.
I know!
Oh, the holiday thing. I love that.
I saw that and I was like, oh god, please don't say this replaces the winter sale. I will cry if that was replaces the sale.
No, that.
Or remember that with the blue
chat's
team,
saying
green team.
they think the 19th is going to be the start of the winter sale.
Well, I've been updating my wish list like crazy, and I think that's going to be my the main topic for next week. Obviously, we'll be talking about Christmas games we're looking forward to, and that's just going to be
the Humble Bundle
the whole time. The Humble Bundle?
No, the Humble Bundle store right now has a lot of, like, they're having like a 12 days of Christmas kind of sale. So there's a lot of good games on there for sale, and I could go through there, but like I'm a little like squeamish because I've never actually bought a game as a gift on the Humble Bundle store. So I'm like, how do I go about that? Because on Steam, I know I can save it and give it on the right day. On there, I think I just would have to give it early.
I don't like getting games as gifts with Humble Bundle because there's like all these, you have to be very careful about the way you do it, and first you have to add it to your Humble library and then you can add it to Steam, and I've screwed that up before and the games just get like lost in translation. It's really weird. I think it's because sometimes people get a code for a game but they're not supposed to gift it. And that's where I'm getting the confusion. Like, it's not sent as a gift. It's just a code they have. And they're like, oh, this is supposed to be for me, but I already have this game on Steam. So here you go. Make sure you use it this way, because if you do it this other way, it's gone. I'm like, oh, okay.
I kind of like the way they have it where you add it to your Steam or your Humble Bundle library, and then you can like put it in your Steam library too, because you get the DRM free version if you want, and there's always access to it. It works better for like books and Android games and stuff like that, but because like everybody's like, well, don't lose your Steam account. But if you duped cards, well, oh.
Well, that's what I like about Steam is the fact that all my games are there regardless.
Yeah.
I don't mind the fact that it's DRM, but because of the fact that I have access to them anytime I want. So.
Yeah, I was gonna say I can reinstall all. I don't have to juggle all those discs. They host it all for me. They handle the updates for me. It's DRM in the most acceptable form, in my opinion.
So what are your thoughts on receiving a game under the tree versus getting it on Steam where it's digital and you don't have like the disc encumbering you?
I could care less either way. I feel like Steam is more convenient for everybody, but I will definitely respect somebody who actually physically got off their butt and went down to the store, fought their way through the holiday crowds, and physically found a copy of something for me.
Wouldn't it be neat if Steam came up with an idea to where you can give a gift for Christmas, but you can't open it till Christmas? And then it has a little animation with an opening package. That would be cool.
You know what? I thought about something similar to that.
What, like your Steam tree on your profile? Like, look how many gifts they've gotten that they get to open on Christmas.
That's pretty cool.
Oh, no.
That would be cool.
Like, no, I see that as a marketing ploy to,
Yeah.
They would love it, I'm sure. Like, oh, wait, we can get people to continue to buy gifts for their friends. Because, like, oh, I want, like, a big pile on my digital tree.
Yeah, and then you're saddened by the fact that there's some people that don't have any gifts under their tree.
You feel bad.
You feel bad, so you have to buy it.
So it's like, okay.
I'll get them a gift.
That's a really good way of putting it. I was thinking of something similar where, like right now, I'm thinking, okay, let's say the sale pops up tomorrow. And I'm like, ooh, look at all these games on sale. All right. And I look through my friends and what they want, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to get so-and-so this and so-and-so that. And then they end up buying it on their own because it's on sale. But I bought it for them. But I didn't send it to them because it's not Christmas yet. So I like your idea of like you can't open it till
Oh.
Christmas, because that would at least Steam be able to spoil the surprise for them. Like, I wouldn't buy this because one of your friends might have gotten it for you, and then they're like, oh, I'm already getting this game, but I don't know from who. I mean, which would be the easiest way, because you spoil the surprise, but at least you don't know who it is until Christmas. That system I would like to see in place, because I worry about that. If I'm going to spend money on a gift for someone specifically, I don't want them to have bought the game, because I can't return it.
You kind of have that problem anyway with the physical object as
But
well.
with the
You wrap
physical
it.
object, you probably know the person in person. You could be like, I wouldn't buy that, you know, or try to convince them otherwise. Like, oh, don't get that. That game's dumb.
Well, then that just goes to gifting logic. If you're not like in their close, tight circle, then don't buy them a game they're likely to impulse buy.
But see, that's the thing, though. If you got gifts under your tree, you're going to be careful of what you purchase for yourself, at least until Christmas is over. I know. I've done that where I go, well, I want to buy this, but for myself, somebody might have already got.
Here's the solution: if you're going to impulse buy it for yourself, don't even put it on your wish list.
Exactly.
Just
Don't tell it. Yeah, there you go. Anything that's on your wish list, come on. So
Because
that
I use that.
That's true. But what if your wish list is getting old and you forgot stuff is on there?
I always like update it sometime in October to get ready for the Christmas season, and throughout the year if I just see something that's gonna be going. But like if you know you're gonna impulse buy it this season, just take it off way early.
Is it automatically removed from your wish list when it's purchased or you have the item?
Yes. So you wouldn't
that.
get the if they did it that
'Cause
way
that would
where
be
they removed it from your wish list, it would be kind of like you would know someone got it for you.
That's the other problem I've faced. People, one person gets a gift, and then a person gets the same gift from someone else, and then they have two copies of it now.
Yeah. Well, if somebody's going to purchase a gift for somebody, say like I'm going to purchase this game for this person, and then somebody else thinks the same thing with the same game, if they're sending it to that person, a thing can pop up on their Steam saying someone already purchased this gift for this person.
So you'd have to designate
So
in your...
you would have to pick a different thing on the wish list.
Yeah.
And then, if you do go into the wish list and you're thinking on purchasing a game from your own wish list, a little bar can pop up saying, please be aware that people might have purchased games for you from this wish list. So keep that in mind before you purchase anything for yourself or whatever. I don't know. Anyway, something like that.
They always have the option where if you get double gifted or triple gifted the same game, cough, last year, that happened to me, the exact same game, you can put it in your gift inventory and you could be really tacky and
gift it to
re-gift
somebody
it.
else.
Which, it's what else was I going to do? I'm like, okay, well, I'll just divvy it out.
Yeah.
It would be cool if you could actually trade it for another game of same value.
I think if Steam was gonna do that gift exchange thing, they should do like a Boxing Day, and it's like a gift exchange where it's like, I have this game that's valued at this price. Here are the games I'm looking for, or you can just like search for people who are looking for the game that you're like looking to trade. Here's what they have to trade. Yeah. And you can agree to trade for something they have or look to the next person.
These are innovations we know Steam can do as well. Like, especially the one about like, oh, well, I have this game in my gift inventory. It's not installed, but I can't do anything with it. Can I please trade it? Like, you can trade stuff with friends. Why not trade it with Steam?
Yeah, because they know when you've installed a game, and if you have installed a game before. I think once you install it, and then that's it. You can't do nothing. You own the game.
You rip
can't
the
trade
packaging
it.
open, you're screwed.
Yeah.
They could also give Steam wallet money, so you could just exchange it for a game of your choice.
Now,
or discount on another game.
If you purchase a game if you purchase a game as a gift, and it goes into your inventory, right?
Yeah.
It stays there, right, in your inventory. So You don't
Yeah.
have, and then if you wanted the game instead of gifting it to somebody, can you choose to put it in your library? I
Yeah.
think you can.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, see, I never thought of this before, but that's probably what I should have been doing. Because
What?
there's games on there I've never played before. I just bought it because it was like $1.99.
And you just kept
You know
it.
what I mean? I says I'll eventually play it, so I'll just leave it in my library for right now.
So what
But
are
I
you
could've-
saying? Have like an interest queue, and if you don't get around to it in like a week, you gift it.
Gift it. Yeah, give it to somebody.
Oh, I see. So you want the opposite
You see
way.
what I'm saying? So
You want it
right.
to
So
be
in
in
other
your
words,
library and go
if
into
I
your
see a
inventory.
game, yeah, if I see a game, I go, oh, that looks really good, and then I look around and I see all the hype about it, watch videos about it, but I buy it because it's on sale within the next 24 hours for $1.99. So I buy it, I put it in my library, and then I look and I watch videos. I go, oh, that's not really a good game. I don't know if I like that one. Maybe someone else
I
might
should have
like it,
watched
but it's
this
too late.
video before buying the game.
Yeah, it's too late. I've already got it in my library. What am I going to do? So, I mean, I've got games that are like really like old that I've never like. Which one is it? Oh gosh, I can't even think of it. There's one of the. It's a number one. Oh, the game Fear. I bought Fear
Yeah.
2 and I got Fear with it. Okay. So it came with it, and it's like it's one of those games that, you know, I don't know. I don't even think I even played Fear 2. It's just there. I bought it because it was a package deal, and I was gonna get to it, but I never did. But I know there's people that would probably like it, and I got it stuck in my library and I can't do nothing with it. If I would have just made it a gift in my inventory, I could have made that decision later. It says, you know what? I've had this in my inventory for a while. I'm probably never gonna play it. I'll just gift it, or even use it for a giveaway for when we do videos and things like, you know what I mean?
Do
But I
you
can't-
think that if you've never actually pulled the download from the Steam library when you buy a game, just because you put it in your like game library, do you think you should be able to return it
Yeah,
or put it back into your gift inventory?
Yeah,
Like, because
that's
you've
what
never downloaded it. Like, so
That's
you've
what-
never technically opened it.
exactly. That's what Vortak was just now saying. He's saying there's many games where I haven't even installed yet, and I'd like to be able to give it as a gift, right? Is that what
Yeah.
you were talking? I think that's what he was talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So-
So, but they don't allow that. They don't have that option. So, which kinda
Instead,
sucks.
maybe what you need to do as the consumer is everything you buy place in your inventory.
exactly. That's what I'm saying. I think
And
I'm
you can
going
do
to
that.
I'm going to start doing that because I get crazy during these little sales and stuff.
You're an
I
impulse
see-
buyer, aren't you?
I see that $15.99 game for $1.99. I can't pass that up. You know what I mean?
I guess
You are an
we're
impulse buyer.
lucky
and then
he
in
doesn't
24
have,
hours, it goes back to $15.99, and someone says, "Yeah, hey, I got that game. It was only $15. Now I got it for $1.99. Now what?"
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
He's the kind of person that we should be glad he doesn't have a Wii U because he'd be broke with all the amiibo things going on right now and all the
Oh
scarcity
my
with
god,
those.
yeah.
Oh my god. That is
Yeah.
like the biggest thing. Like, I guess they're doing way better than we anticipated they would, and now they're flying off shelves, and Nintendo's threatening to never make some of them again. And
But have you seen some of their commercials?
No.
Oh, they're crazy. The whole thing is like I was watching this video where they were reviewing the Amiibo, and they were talking about the commercials, and the commercials all kind of linked together as one long story of this kid who's all of his brothers and his brothers' friends are all playing, and he can't play because he doesn't have one of those Amiibos, right? So he goes out and gets Mario, and he comes back, and he says, all right, I'm ready to play. He plays, and he just gets slaughtered because he's level 1, and they're all already level 20, 30.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
see,
the
that's
girl-
why I hate it.
Yeah, the girl he's got a crush on is like, 5 years older than him or whatever. She promises to train him, and he's all like, oh, cool. He's all starry-eyed, hearts in his eyes. And so she trains him and teaches him how to do it. And so he comes in, puts his Mario down, and says, okay, I'm ready for it. And he starts playing, and he just whips all their butts, It's pretty cool. So, I mean, the way they marketed it, I think, was what gave it quite a bit of success.
Well, that, and they're boasting that some things are never going to be made again, and they're rare. And
Oh, yeah, too.
now I guess GameStop also has an exclusive one that you can only get through pre-orders, and the pre-orders are already sold out.
Wow.
Yeah, it's just like they're going nuts right now, and people are all freaking out that they can't get these in time. It's like the new Beanie
But
Babies.
it's such a gimmick. It'll be over in like a year or two. Like the Skylanders, like the kids are still into them and stuff like that, but like no one cares anymore. Like nobody beyond the age demographic of that. And you're gonna see that with these Nintendo characters.
They did one thing right that Skylanders didn't. With Skylanders, you can only use the characters in Skylanders games. With Amiibos, you can use them in other Nintendo games, especially upcoming titles. So
Yeah,
that's different.
but at the same time, you have to get their like third-party developers on board with that and creating their characters. And I doubt those other companies are going to want to invest in that.
Yeah, well, true, but if it's all Nintendo games, because Nintendo has a lot of exclusive titles, we're going to see the new Zelda game incorporate Amiibo. We're going to see, we already have Smash Bros. And Mario Kart incorporating it. The new
I would
Mario
never
Party
buy
game.
an Amiibo.
I
Never.
I think
It's
buying,
a gimmick.
Yeah, but maybe buying one if like it benefits the game somehow. I've heard that you can get one in
No.
Super Smash, and if you put it down during a battle, the character appears and you're not controlling it. It's aiding you in the battle. And Zelda was talking about with the leveling, the more you use it, the more it levels up.
And it's got its own AI, and you take it off, you can go and play in another game somewhere. It keeps it all within that thing.
As in-app purchases.
This is out of app purchases.
Pay to win.
This is
Pay to win. This is what that is.
IRL.
It's appception.
No, you're
It's
right.
real life appception.
You're right, but it's still. I see how it's cooler than Skylanders. I think it's a lot more well done. I think Nintendo needed this win too. Most other companies, I'll be like, you're right, meh, in-app purchases, meh. But Nintendo is not a company I want to see go down in flames. I like Nintendo and I want to see them succeed. So I'm kind of happy for them because the gimmicks are going to come up anywhere. At least it's Nintendo doing it and not someone who doesn't deserve it.
I like the
My
idea
opinion.
I like the idea of it learning. You know, like it's actually learning.
Yeah.
You know,
I think you guys have like drank the Kool-Aid, honestly. You
have
bought
any.
the gimmick.
I took the
Trello
blue
doesn't even
pill.
have a Wii U.
I don't even have one. I just watched.
Yeah, but
some
he
videos of it.
likes the concept of it and stuff.
Yeah, I thought it was when we talked about this kind of thing in the past, and I had no idea what it was until I really done some. Because usually after these shows, and I'll do it tonight too when I start looking at these, games and stuff. But I like to do some more research on top of what like you guys have given your feedback on what you've learned about tonight's theme, and so now I'll take that information and I'll just run with it on the internet and just do some more research.
Tonight's
And that's what I did
themes.
with the and that's what I did with the Amiibo. And I'm hoping that our listeners are doing the same thing when they listen to our show. They sit there and they go, "Oh, well, I never thought of that," and then they go and do some research for themselves. But that's probably what I'll do, and that's what I did with the Amiibos and the Skylanders and all that stuff. And I learned a little bit more about what they really are.
Yeah.
They're not just a toy with a chip in them. They actually learn, or at least the Amiibos do. And the information that's put on that chip is a form of an AI, and it learns. And like you said, it aids you in your battle. And I just thought it was really neat. But anyway, another topic, I guess.
Yeah. These shows usually get split into two themes.
Yeah.
Anyway, but
It goes off and on.
I
everything.
don't like it because it's pay to win, and if it like came bundled with every game, like here's your amiibo that goes with it,
if they came with a
and
free
then like
one, yeah.
yeah, if they had a free
true,
one for
true.
every game, like I would be okay with that because it's like okay, here's Link, here is whatever the next Zelda game is, version Link, and bonus next Legend of Zelda game or your previously owned ones. Here you can plop this down and use your levels and stuff. I would be okay with it then, but it's not included. It is another piece of attachment that you have to buy that now aids you and helps you win. And I do not agree with that.
Jemmy doesn't approve.
But on the plus side, at least this is a physical product this time.
Yes, and not
Yeah.
something Assassin's Creed, you know, like
And it could
buy
be worth a
some
lot of
extra
money
health.
someday. They could be
Yeah.
worth a lot of money someday.
I mean, One day it could be a collector's item
If they do it
or
right. If the
could just
scarcity
be gross.
if the scarcity
Yeah.
remains artificial, like it has been for some cases, like if they're only saying this to get the holidays jumping and then they start reprinting some of these other characters, then they won't be worth crap. But if they stick to their guns and say, nope, Martha's gone, there's no more Marth, sorry, and maybe bring him back 10 years from now or whatever, like I guess in the time span of the Wii U being around, so not 10 years, but yeah, then they might be worth something for a while. But it's got to be done right. I think right now, though, they're really banking on the holidays. But that is unfortunately all the time we have. So there you go. Video game violence, Steam improvements, and amiibos. Tonight's show. Check out everythingnoob.com. We have managed to move our t-shirt store to a different provider, and we're still adding to the store. There's not a whole lot there yet. But once we do start getting shirts up, they're going to be so much cheaper than they were on the other site. They're going to be a lot more affordable. So if you want to support the show, keep an eye out. Everythingnoob.com. Hit the t-shirt store link at the top of the page there, and show your support for the Everything Noob podcast. I'm Vortak. Joining me, Jemmy Dreadlow. We'll see you next week with another Everything Noob podcast.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for joining us for this edition of the Everything Noob podcast. Hit up everythingnoob.com for our show notes, blogs, YouTube and Twitch channels, previous episodes, and even a t-shirt store. Please game responsibly, and we'll see you next week.